So Pastor Jermaine, I know you're also going through some Bible education
sir.
right now.
Yes, sir.
And we've been able to help out with that a little bit. Will you tell me a little bit, tell me about the Bible education you're going through right now.
What I'm going through is with my master's degree, and what that's going to be focused on, that's going to be able to allow me to go to foreign mission. And what focus is on in the which is called Agape Extension Bible College, and it is a new school that the Lord has placed on my pastor's heart to do. And the focus is justification. That's soteriology, which is spiritual. Soteriology is a spirit, and so that's justification. Realizing that the preachers might preach that we're saved by justification of Christ, not by works, but by Christ's doing on the cross. That he died and he rose, and then early Sunday morning he got up with all power in his hands, which allowed us to enter into justification. And then we have biblical analysis, which is learning the different ways of learning what the Bible is saying. For an example, therefore is not the same as therefore. In Romans 12, there's a different terminology of therefore. So every time you read the Bible, you hear the word therefore, it doesn't mean the same thing in Romans 12. If you read it in, where he says, go ye therefore, teach all nations, baptizing them. It's not the same. You have to differentiate between therefore. And so every Bible word has a different meaning. And so we're learning that in biblical analysis, also in Christian philosophy, learning how to deal with minds of the people, realizing that some of them has been confused because of what they heard in the college about Christ. For example, very firm of an ideal is a word that means that they have a mindset of an idea about God, but not sure about God, whether he exists or not. It's an idea. That would be the same thing with the Jehovah's Witness or other cults outside of the faith that has an idea but not sure whether God exists or not. And so that's one of the words that I used that I learned in philosophy. And then we also have a class called Closing the Back Door. That class deals with discipleship, and that is learning how to intake new souls, putting people in position that has a heart for souls, that they'll instead of going back to where they used to be, bring them into the place they are in Christ, rather than going out, finding an escape to go back into their past. Yeah. But helping them to close that back door so they can walk by faith and not by sight. Where Paul says, forget those things which are behind and trust toward the mark of the high call. And so we're teaching disciples that it's okay to have a new life because you're a new creature in Christ. So whatever happened in the past is in the past. And too often, I don't know if you've experienced, Pastor Justin, that there's a lot of souls who still come to Christ, but still ain't learned to get rid of the past. Yeah. They bring the past with them. And so we're learning in that class to learn to work with people that are still struggling with their past, realizing that it's not what it used to be. Yeah. It's a new life now. Yeah. And oftentimes we have believers still wondering, how can God use me when I was a prostitute or homemonger, or if I was an adulterer, if I was a murderer, how can God still use somebody like me? And what we're teaching them to realize is it doesn't matter about your history of your sin. Yeah. We serve a forgiving God. We serve a merciful God. And therefore we're teaching that we ought to love him. Yes. In that disciple class, learn to love them in, because he said love covers a multitude of sin. And so in that disciple class, we're teaching members to learn to work with those that are struggling, because Paul said, you once was there too. Yeah. We don't have a right to judge. And so in that disciple class, we're learning we're not supposed to judge at the church, but love them in. Yes. All right. Okay.
Awesome.
All right.
Awesome.
All right.
He's getting his preach on, everyone. So that's awesome. That's awesome.